back in 2018, my older son, who works for an airline, gave me a call and he said he had a free ticket that I could use to really go anywhere I wanted to. But so I thought about it for a while. I had to use it up by the end of 2018. And at this point, I think it was probably June or July. So I had to make a quick decision because I knew I wanted to go in September. That's always to me the nicest time to travel. I love the month of September. It's not hot with the summer temperatures anymore and the air is clearer. So I gave it some thought and I decided to go to Ireland, specifically Dublin. So what I did was I did a lot of research, actually. I love to do research on places I'm going to go. And the first thing I did after I checked out the area and see what attractions, museums, whatnot were there for me to visit, I got on Google Maps, and I always do this before I go to a particular city that I'm not familiar with. So I got on Google Maps, I checked out the area, I did a street view of all of the streets in Dublin so I could become familiar with the area, because if I'm going to be walking around these streets by myself, I wanted to be sure I knew where I was going. And I suggest you do that if you're going to travel by yourself. And traveling by yourself, I think, it's really easy. It's not intimidating or scary as long as you prepare and you know where you're going, and as I say, have like a map of the area or some type of definite itinerary that you can follow so that you're more comfortable when you get there. You can, on the internet, it's amazing. You can see pretty much anywhere in the world. You can get street views and see exactly what the places look like. You can check out any hotels you might be considering staying in and see what they're like. Of course, read the reviews, but you can check out the area, get street views of the area, and it's really helpful to familiarize yourself with the area that you'll be staying in because, if you're by yourself, you want to be safe. And so this is what I did when I prepared for my trip to Dublin, and it was really helpful. So I also did a lot of research on how I was going to get to my hotel once I left the airport. And I saw that there was, transportation, particular bus line that went to the area where I was staying in. And of course, you have to check that out, and that's very helpful. So all of these ideas to familiarize yourself with the area before you go are extremely helpful and put your mind at rest so you feel a little more comfortable. And can I tell you, by the time I got there to Dublin, I took the bus that I was supposed to, and it was really easy. And the bus driver told me when I was getting closer to my hotel to get ready. And can I just say, everyone in Ireland is really nice. It's the friendliest city I've ever been to. It's wonderful. I got settled in my hotel, got my room, and even though I was jet lagged, I had to get out and walk around the city. So I did that, and I went directly to the spot I wanted to visit first, which was it was a place called the Queen of Tarts, and they've changed the name since then. I forget the name of it now, but I imagine it's basically the same type of a place. But it was a place that I wanted to visit because I had read so much about it, and of course, since I have a baking business of my own, food is very important to me. And I had to check out their scones. I couldn't wait to eat Irish scones, real Irish scones. And can I say they're the best I've ever had? There is something very different about the flour and butter in Ireland that makes their scones just extra delicious. They were really so good. So I stayed in Dublin. I found a really nice hotel. It was in a great area. And I stayed in Dublin by myself for 2 full days because I had booked a tour for the remaining of my stay, which was about 5 more days. And staying in Dublin, having those 2 days to myself was really a lot of fun. You know, I Dublin in particular is a wonderful city to walk around, and there are so many things to see, and the people are extremely friendly, and and I just had the best time by myself. You know, traveling by yourself, as I said earlier, it's really not a big deal. And what I think the biggest thing that you have to do, change your mindset to know that you're going to I was so excited to go to Dublin that I just couldn't wait to get there. And the fact that I was going by myself, it never really entered my mind. It certainly was not a concern of mine. Now, sure, if you have a friend and you go with a friend, of course that's going to be a lot of fun, but you can't not go someplace just because you're going to go by yourself or think you have no one to go with. Because, basically you're your own best friend and you can spend time together with yourself and have a great time. So you have to change your mindset. You really do. You really do. You have to understand that you're going to go and have fun, and that's just all there is to it. So I was really excited. I spent 2 days in Dublin just walking around, visiting the museums, talking to people, and eating some great food. I even booked a food tour, and I could suggest to you also that booking a tour, something like that, or a walking tour with someone, it's a great experience. And, you get to learn some things about the city that you didn't know about. Booking a food tour or a walking tour is a great idea to get to know the city better. And and it's fun. And if, you have like an hour with other people that you're hanging out with, and that's a great way to experience the city when you're on your own. So, I'm telling you all this because I wouldn't want you to stay at home, especially this time of year if you're planning traveling somewhere and you're thinking that you have no one to travel with. Just take the time to explore a particular city you might want to go to, and do some research, and know that if you set your mind to it, that you can certainly plan a trip on your own and you'll have a great time. And then while I was on my tour, my bus tour, there were quite a few people on the tour with me, and we traveled west all the way over to the coast, to the cliffs of Moher, however you say that, which was beautiful. The weather actually happened to be beautiful that whole week, so I really got lucky. But within that bus tour, we stopped at a lot of places because it was for 5 days. And we had some tours. We had some classes. We actually had a scone making class, which of course um, I was interested in, to learn how the Irish make their scones, because for my baking business, I've been making scones for many years, but the the technique was similar, but a little bit different. And it was just fun to make Irish scones. And what else do we, and there were a lot of activities planned. So even if you think that you might want to go take a trip on your own, but be part of a group, like a tour group, that's an excellent way to travel. And, you're still with a group of people, but you're traveling by yourself. Um, the one downside I have, and this has nothing to do with the travel, it's just that when you travel by yourself, they always charge you so much more as a single person. That really irks me, but there's not much you can do about it. I guess they I guess they prepare for at least 2 people in a room, so if you're one person, I don't know, maybe they make you spend extra. That's really the only downside I have, but, um but it's great. So if you're thinking about traveling by yourself, don't put it off. Take some of my tips to heart and check out where you might want to go and do a Google Map search and see what the area is like and see what attractions are there, what things you might be interested in doing there. And I really encourage you to maybe step out of your comfort zone a little bit and just enjoy yourself, enjoy your own company. It's really a wonderful thing to be able to do that. And and so I encourage you to do that if you're thinking of traveling by yourself somewhere. Don't put it off. Life's too short and there's too much to see in this world. So, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this little walk with me. It's really pretty out here. I'll show you. I'm next to the cornfield on this side and the big field on this side. And it's a beautiful morning. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.